welcome to what are we doing? Technique Tuesday. And I have asked my dear friend, and totally unexpected, she was over here playing today, and asked her to participate in Technique Tuesday. And yeah, so we are in our most beauteous selves. Khalees Ray Thompson, if you would like to connect with her on Facebook, she's an actual artist. Actually went to art school, but what I love about our friendship is that we alternate back and forth, where she'll come to me and learn more about just letting go and get out of maybe the rules and the mindset of what they might teach you in art school. And I come to her for technique because I didn't actually do that back in school. So I'm having her here because I want to do more portraits. And sometimes it's nice to have a little bit more technique and understanding about the face. So if you'd like to maybe just use my face and show what we're going to be doing, because my hair's put back and we can see it a little.
Yeah, so what we're going to be looking at is the oval, and I'll show you this little dirty paper, but that's kind of the idea of what we're talking about. So you're going to have an oval, and then you're going to have a line that dissects that half. Most people think, a lot of times they will put the eyes way up here. They don't realize that the eyes are in the middle of your head, including the top of the head and the bottom. You can see this is just about halfway in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then we dissect this area. Halfway in between is the nose, and then halfway in between the nose and the chin is the lips. The ears are going to be about the size from the bottom of the nose to the eyebrows. And then our neck is attached. A lot of times people draw the neck from the inside of this circle, oval,
stick neck,
and it should follow down to here and have a nice curve into the shoulder. And we just talked about how the shoulder is usually a head width.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they'll make the shoulders just a common mistake. So just getting some of the proportions, I think you're able to create something that is going to look like a person.
Alrighty. So
let's get to
yeah.
it. All right. So we just talked about our oval. So just loosely, you kind of want to get your hand going around. Doesn't have to be the perfect oval. We're just lightly sketching if we were to do a face. And then let's put a line down the center. And then you're going to go through the center of the oval. All right. So this basically represents the eyes. And you want to put a circle where you think those eyes should go. And then we're going to do an arc over the circle, touching the edges. Generally, the eye...
My eyes always end up being a different size.
Well, that's why I started with that circle. You try to get that lined up first so that you kind of have... And if you'll look, it's about halfway over. So we can bring hashtags down if we want to show that those lines are like through this bullet. That's what you're trying to get kind of centered. And generally, the space here to here on the eyes should be the same space as between here and the nose, typically. So you come halfway down. We went halfway between this, the eyes and the bottom of the chin, and bring another line over. That's going to be the nose. And let's make the nose just as wide as this space right here, just a little arc for positioning. And then halfway between the nose and the bottom of the chin, we're going to put a line, and that should be the mouth.
Any width? Like between
I'm going to the eyes. Everybody's mouths are different size, but if you'll notice, we came down here with the eyes.
In the middle of the eye, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so to that, you've got your center spot right here, so you can do just a little bow for the top lip, and a little thin one for the bottom, or some people You know, if we wanted to go a little, different people have different size faces, so if we're doing a girl, sometimes we might have a
Luscious,
little bit more lusciousness, yes.
little lusciousness to the bottom lip.
And typically, so here we've got our nose. Now we go over the eyes, the space between the eyes and the bottom of the nose. That's the arc for our ear. On both sides. And then typically up here, just depending on what your hair is like, you've got yours up, so you might want to draw yours a different way. I will pretend I got bangs.
So
And
how
so
about
here is
eyebrows?
the top.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. And then just a little bit above the eyes, you're going to do another slight arc. And of course, everybody has different shape eyebrows. Typically, the eyebrows
Or an
come to the
angle.
length of the edge of your eye. And so one thing I do with the nose, typically
Yeah.
our nose, it just kind of goes up a little bit. There's a nostril there. You know, we don't have to do a whole lot to make your nose. Okay, the next
Yeah, so
thing
I
is,
think the nose is strange. It's more developed out of the shading, right?
yeah, but it's
Yeah,
different shape. It sort of goes up.
I'm
And then
I'm,
you have these,
I'm talking about along the edge here.
Oh,
you know,
sure.
like some people draw these big old schnozzes that you really don't have to do, right?
right, yeah, so you might shadow down here.
Okay.
Basically, the structure is there, and then here's your hair. And the hair is going, mine's long, so that goes down to here, coming up from that skull. Yours might be straight. And now here's the mistake a lot of people make, is putting this neck in like that.
Okay.
Okay? Our neck is attached to our ears. So really, the neck springs from the skull. And again, if you were to shade, you know, we've got that little gobbler thing right here.
So it's lighter in the center part.
Typically,
Yeah.
you look-
And what's this doing?
yeah. It's really hard when you're doing that. Now, of course, you've got a little swirl going here, but really your hair is, you just automatically did that. Your
Yeah.
hair is going this way
Oh
because
yeah.
it's all tied up.
Got you. Got you. Yes.
And if the sun is coming from here, obviously this is all going to be in shadow in here. And then when it hits the eyebrow, it's going to be a little lighter. You know, some of us have a little indention in our cheeks if we're lucky. There's obviously a little shadow right underneath the lip. And lips are kind of weird too. Sometimes the lip is actually a highlight, and it's defined really by the shadow that's underneath it.
Oh.
So this, if I had an eraser, and of course one side, if the light's coming from here, you're gonna have light on this side, and then this side of the lip will be darker, as will this area underneath. It's gonna define your, and then most of us have this little.
Oh yeah, that little.
Yeah.
And she's very scared.
But most of us, it really isn't, we aren't seeing the whole pupil. When you actually put an eyelid on there, chances are, look at the
Okay.
difference between this eye on the right and the one where the pupil is into
Okay.
this eyelid, because the eyelid's actually covering the eye. And chances are, it's not really, we think of it, we read it as a circle, but it's really not. And by putting the pupil right in the center of the eye, that's what makes it look buggy. But you can go back and forth with your cross hatching. Ooh, but then this is a little bit darker than this little spot next to me. So you go different directions and you can follow the direction of the muscle with some of your hatching. You can certainly rub it a little bit. We like to rub it.
Okay.
Eyelashes, you can always kind of add,
Yeah, and how do eyelashes go? Oh, they actually go this way.
go in a
They
curve.
go curved bit to the outside. Curved that way. Ooh. Maybe an earring.
Big earring. Shading on the ball. That's good. Oh, and then of course there's going to be shading back here. There's going to be shading back on your neck, which will get lighter as it comes out. You're going to have the shadow. I just made another arc of shadow that would go under the chin.
Well, I've heard someone say you should never have just a floating head. You should always have the shoulders coming in. Don't. We can do faces, but just don't forget they gotta.
Land somewhere.
Yeah.
And they would curve too, because you don't,
Curve.
it's going to curve into
Right.
your. And then of
Gotcha.
course with a shirt, it actually comes
Comes
around.
out.
Yeah, you'd see a little bit of that coming around. And typically, I think the shoulders, is that about a half a head or is that a whole head?
That
From-
is a whole, almost a
Almost
whole
the
head.
whole
Yeah,
head.
3/4
A lot of
the
people
head,
make
yeah.
that mistake too, getting just a little too narrow,
Gotcha.
or too long a neck, or too short.
I like it.